Hey there and welcome in this little tutorial. This will be a little design practice in After Effects. Instead of creating something with keyframes, with animations, I'll show you an also important trick. So let's grab our first object, which will be our rectangle tool. Okay, I have the rectangle tool. I'm trying to grab the middle and I create a rectangle like that. I press the V key, I try to place it in the middle and I want to rotate it. By having it selected, and going approximately here, I can simply rotate. When I press the Shift key, and you see I declicked. This is a mistake. I need to select the rectangle again, Shift key, and OK. I wanted something like this. Now I want to select better colors. The quickest way to do this would be going to Window, Extensions, and selecting my Adobe color themes. I see I have them already here. OK. I'll explore a few themes and I can basically select any color I'd like. For example, even this one, it doesn't really matter. Ctrl Y and select a background. Maybe a black background, some classic design. Then the shape should have obviously a different color. Maybe this blue. Okay, the thing I want to show you here is how you can overlap a pattern over any object. Let me come closer. Please grab the rectangle tool once again, have everything deselected, change the color to another one. Maybe we'll use this gray or this white one. Well, let's stay with this gray at first. And I want to create another little rectangle, a really small one. I'll even call it, with my Enter key, small fella. So now I know who it is. And I'll select orange, so I definitely know, yep, this is this little fella. I want to grab the rectangle, I want to press V, and once again, I want to rotate it with my Shift key. Okay, but I would like this fella to be all over this object. How could I do this? I'll call this object. Like, it can be object, this will be called BG, Enter. Okay, and I want to replicate this fella over this entire design. For that, I would need to select Add Repeater. The repeater allows me to repeat any object any number of times. Let me show you. As I open the repeater, you see I have 3 copies. I want definitely more of them. So at first I will select 8 copies or any number I want. I'll open my transform options and I'll make sure that the position is lowered. And the position now depends on what do you want to achieve. I think the position should be about 20, and the repeater, I need to repeat it so it covers me this entire object. I could eventually offset it to the left, okay, repeat it more times, and okay, but still, I have it horizontally, but I would also like to cover it vertically. How to do this? Now the interesting thing in After Effects is that you can repeat repeaters or you can repeat any other layer. We will make use of this, and having this small fella selected, you will again add the repeater. Please do so, click again on repeater and OK. Now what happened? I want to explain you everything. We have the repeater, we have a few repeater options, and we also have the transform options of this given repeater. Now I will open the transform options. I know I want more copies, like 100. And look what's happening in the transform options. Previously, we worked with the first position, but now we need to make this position 0, and we need to work with the Y position. Look what happens. Depending on how I make the position, this many lines will appear. So you would not want your computer to sweat a lot, so you make them as little as possible just to cover this object. 90 copies will be probably too much. I need to change the offset a bit so it comes back. And how many copies do I want? I want approximately 45 copies. This is enough to cover it up. I could go back to the first repeater and even offset it a bit to the left, lower the copies. The lower the better. With my left control key I make it a bit slower. Okay, and this is the initial thing we need to do in this design. you need to duplicate this object, Ctrl D or Command D if you are on Mac, and you need to make this above the small fella. This object will cover up the small fella, just so you know what you are doing. We will use track matting. If you don't see the track matte options, select the second button here or press F4 on your keyboard. Select small fella, select track matting, and select alpha matte will cover up. Now I can click on small fella and I can change its color to the color I want. You can see this looks a bit weird because maybe the colors I've selected are a bit bad. That's like my mistake on this part. Maybe let's make it black. Well, kind of this looks the best from them. Let me also select Ctrl 5 to open the effects and select simply drop shadow over this small fella. I'll double click on drop shadow. You can see those little shadows appeared. Let's make it 0 and like the softness a bit, or maybe 1. And I'll just work with the softness, just so it gets this little blurry design element. You can see there's a slight difference. And this is what I wanted to go over with you in this tutorial. I hope you did enjoy this bonus tutorial and we'll see each other in other ones like that.